everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Geek Boutique podcast. My name is JS. That over here is my buddy Jeff. We like to call him Akka around here if you're new.
We do.
What's up, Jeff? How you doing?
I'm excited, nervous, scared, weird. I don't know, man. It's Niagara Falls Comic Con weekend, guys. So if you're going for one day, if you're going for 3 days like me, whatever. Yeah, so I have tomorrow booked off. We're going to be heading out bright and early. Going to get there super early. I know the con doesn't start till 3, but I'm going to get checked in. I'm wearing the Comedian on Friday, which is a pain in the ass to put on. It's so many different pieces, so I'm looking forward to it. And then, of course,
it's made of Warbler, so it's like a hard shell, right?
The chest piece, yeah, is the rest of it's EVA foam, but yeah, the rest of the chest piece is Warbler. But yeah, it's come on, it's Niagara Falls Comic Con. I don't love how they handle the cosplay side of things. They're trying to do a little bit better. They have a cosplay contest at least this year that our friends at Cosplay for a Cause are going to be running, but how they've treated cosplay in the past and even still kind of currently is pretty shabby. So I don't love that aspect of it, but I mean, come on, man, we're in Niagara Falls. It's just a good time. So looking forward to that. And looking forward to talking about tonight's topic, but about Niagara Falls, I think there's something going on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken.
100%.
That might be involving your Geeks and Company.
We're coming to town. Oh, no, that's not what you were talking about. Sorry. We are.
Yeah, it is.
First official annual Can't Get Rid of a Bomb run. That's right, guys. We're having a relay race. It's on the southwest side. I fuck it up every time. I'm sorry, guys. I believe
I'm terrible at north, south, east, west shit too.
Yeah,
so it's not just you.
It's outside, guys. Check out the map. Actually, I'm sure Andrew or I will be, or the Geeks and Co. or somebody will be reposting over the next couple of days the satellite photo where this is. There's a path. And then there's a parking lot, and between the path and the parking lot, there's a big patch of grass. So that's where we're going to be doing it. We've got some flags. We're going to be setting it up. We're going to be doing some timed trials, basically. Got some photographers, timed relays. There we go.
Something like that.
So come one, come all. Come sign up. Get your time in. Get some pictures. That's going to be the fun part, right? Is being silly with the damn bomb. And come and hang out. So I think we're planning on 3 to 3:30 p.m. as a start time. Again, weather permitting. I think you did say, Jeff, the weather has turned to the better?
It looks like it right now. I mean, it's still southwestern Ontario weather, so who the hell knows what it's going to end up looking like. But for right now, it's gone from like it was absolutely going to rain, and then it was mostly kind of going to rain, and now it looks like it's not going to rain at all till the evening of Saturday.
Excellent.
So we might actually be able to pull this off, kids. So stay tuned. Hopefully we'll be able to pull this off. I don't know, man. We'll see. Regardless, we're going to be there anyways. JS and Jen are going to come in. So like the Geeks will be there at Niagara Falls. If it's pouring rain, we're still going to be there. We just won't do the relay.
We're going to be inside, yeah.
Still come up, still say hi, still get a picture, still let everybody in that whole fucking place know. By the way, special shout out to a few of you. I don't know what post it was because I'm never on Facebook, but I happened to log into Facebook, and there was a post by Niagara Falls Comic Con on there, and maybe it was the floor plan or something. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I don't see the Geeks and Co in here. How could that possibly be? And like 10 or 12 of you have already like emoted to that. It's the highest emoted comment on that thread. I was going to say something beforehand, but I mean, like now the weekend's coming. But guys, please, the faithful that I'm speaking to you directly, please feel free to let them know. Mm-hmm. It's a huge missed opportunity for them, right? It's one of the biggest cons in the region, and I would like to say that our booth is one of, if not the most welcoming, the most inclusive, the most fun. What other booth has a fucking dance party in the middle of the goddamn? Make sure Niagara Falls Comic Con knows that they dropped the ball on this, and they continue to drop the ball on this by not having your. And that's not us with hubris or us thinking like, oh, you guys, I can't believe your con's going to suck without us. That's not what we're saying. It's clearly going to be better if we're there. So I don't see any reason how it would not be. So let them know. Mm-hmm. But thank you to everybody that's mentioned or even commented on that comment that I made on that Niagara Falls Comic Con thread on Facebook. So
yeah, and it's been frustrating because it's not for a lack of trying, right? Like how many times have we like tried to get in touch with them and applied and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And we don't even get a response back. So,
we did last year. We did last year, and they were like, hey, what can we do to accommodate you? We were like, okay, here's what we need. And then 2 months go by with nothing, and then we bugged them, and finally they're like, oh, yeah, we can't accommodate you. We were like, Then why did you ask us what it would, and then ignore, and then, okay, cool. So how about the media accreditation? Nah, we got enough of that too. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So then this year we're like, hey, we'd like a booth and we'd like media accreditation. And for that one, yeah, this year we didn't even get a response to either.
No.
Keep it profesh, guys. Keep it profesh. Having said that, still Niagara Falls Comic Con. We're still going to go and have a good time.
We're still going to get drunk. I mean, we're still going to get dressed up.
Yeah, we're good. Oh, and by the way, guys, yes, the Geeks Company will be in town, but we're not organizing an after party for Niagara Falls Comic Con. We're not there in a quote unquote official capacity. When we are, for like, say,
you can find out what Jeff's hotel room number is. That's where the party's going to be at.
Yes, my hotel is at 123 Main Street. London Comic Con, hey, we'll be doing that again for sure with your after party. But for this one, nope. Just everyone's just gonna hang out and have a good time.
Yeah, 100%. We're doing an after party for London Comic Con. We're already trying to, well, not trying to. We've kind of worked something out with, a local vendor that might be doing something cool for one of our attendees. So we might have an actual raffle for the people that are actually going to be at the after party in London. So
that's cool.
Keep an eye out for that, because that's going to be pretty sweet, and it's going to be worth, making the trip to come and see us, if I'm honest.
I agree.
Guys, if you aren't already, make sure you click that subscribe button. Because if you are not already subscribed, guys, holy crap, I ask you every week, do a guy a favor. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would really, really, really appreciate it. And if you click the like button, it really lets the algorithm know that you like what you're seeing and you want to see more of it. And it'll help propagate this podcast through the YouTube-verse. That's right. Oh, the little bell. Click the notification bell anytime we go live or we upload a video. It'll tell you. So you'll never forget. You'll never miss us again.
In case you're not sure what a bell is, kids, this is a bell.
Little bell.
Just so you know.
Ding, 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 ding.
Wow.
As opposed to like a triangle bell.
139 episodes
ding,
of
ding,
this
ding.
kind of content, kids. The quality content you've come to expect from your Geeks & Co. Woo. How did I get
Jeff,
roped into this?
We're not going to get into a Star Trek Discovery discussion, but I did watch
the finale. Hey,
and you were right. It was good up until that last part, which I thought was just dumb.
Right.
That was clearly an afterthought and filmed after the fact, but
I came for the quality content, Eric. I'm so sorry, brother.
You're in the wrong spot, bud.
You got to just take it when you get, especially when it's just the two of us. You're just gonna have to suffer, guys. Sorry, man. Yeah, I will say the same thing about, and I know I'm probably going to get raked over the coals for this, but that's okay. I got about 20 to 25 minutes into Star Wars The Acolyte, and I turned it off. That does not mean, before you grab your torches and pitchforks, does not mean it's a bad show. It means it's not for me. And you know what? That is okay. We all can't like all the same things, and not everything is geared toward every demographic. Can some things transcend that? Sure they can. Is this one of those things for me? No. So, although I keep seeing this meme going around everywhere, and I don't want to drop a spoiler, but I'm assuming it's coming from the Acolyte because I'm only seeing it up recently, but there's some sort of a reference to blowing up the Death Star, and someone says Anakin blew up the Death Star. I'm assuming that's on the Acolyte, and everybody's like, Luke Skywalker blew up the Death Star. So it was turn off worthy, says Christina. Yeah,
oh, wow, really?
Yeah, it's...
Peter says, that's when I tuned out.
That's when I tuned out. Okay. Wow. So I must have... Either I didn't get far enough in, or I missed the reference that they were talking about, but...
so it's really just that bad, eh, guys?
Yeah. Wow. So is there like a flash forward then? There must be, because it takes place like 100 years...
Keith said it was an interview with one of the cast members.
Oh, an interview. Okay, that makes way more sense. Way more sense. Okay. Where are you guys located at NFCC, close to the rain course, says Dean McGinnis? We are not, sir. We are not there in an official capacity, Dean. I will be there all weekend. You're going to see plenty of me. JS and Jen are going to come down on Saturday, and we're just going to invade the con, but we're not there in an official capacity because Niagara Falls Comic Con doesn't seem to want us there in an official capacity. So, yeah. FYI, cast members from Discovery will be at Force City in a couple of weeks. One of them is, yeah, for sure. Unless I've missed an announcement. I know Reese is there. I don't know if anybody else is there, but I know Reese from Discovery is there at Forest City. So, well, this Thursday Accolade said that in an interview, Anakin Death Star, and another said that color of lightsabers mean nothing. Well, I mean,
well, they have retconned that to say that the colors of the lightsabers mean nothing, even though Filoni, now being creative director, created the whole lightsaber meaning, the whole yellow lightsabers meaning. Anyway, whatever. I don't know.
Alex, good to see you. I mean, yeah, I didn't.
Whatever.
I thought it was some sort of reference on the show. I don't care if stars are not huge fucking nerds or stars are actors are. I'm a forklift driver. That's my job. That's what I do. Does that mean I know everything there is to know about forklifts and forklift history? No, I know my forklift and I know how to work it. So if an actor gets hired to be in a Star Wars show, do I expect them to know every single piece of lore and everything? No, I don't give a shit. What difference does that make? I didn't realize that was from. That's even less of a thing for me now. Who gives a shit? I didn't like it because I just didn't like it. So, but if you liked it, hey man, that's cool. I'm glad you do. Anyways.
Yeah, you're right. I 100% agree. It's not the actor's job to know everything about the lore, but the people that are in charge should.
Oh,
that's a different thing.
Ariam is going to be there. I didn't know that. That's here's what's funny about this, Mike. So Mike Meyer saying Sarah Mittich, Ariam, and Lieutenant Commander Nielsen will be at Forest City. I'm working Forest City. I'm one of the cosplay guests at a cosplay judge, and I didn't know that. So, woo, yeah.
Well, there you go.
That's awesome. That's cool. Yes, I'll have to. I'll get up. Hopefully, I get a chance to interview one of them, and but definitely meet them both.
Dean says, "JS, bring your red Star Trek officer. I want to bring mine." I'm assuming Dean, you're talking to Niagara Falls Comic Con. I am only there on Saturday. So far, I'm doing Mr. Freeze on Saturday.
Nice.
That being said, does it mean that I have to be in Mr. Freeze all day? No, I could probably bring my Trek uniform and Dean, message me. Well, we can message me. We can figure something out and see if at one point I want to go back to the hotel and change.
If that happens, you guys definitely have to have a couple of TKs there as well. So because you're going to have stormtroopers firing at red shirts. Somehow they still miss, but the red shirts still die.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You guys got to play that out for the memes. For sure. Because it's all about the memes.
That'd be hilarious. Although, you know what, Dean? I'm sure we're probably going to do. I think we're going to do Star Trek Day at Fan Expo. We haven't done a Star Trek Day since Toronto of last year. So I think we're going to do a Trek Day at Fan Expo if we get a booth.
Well, I did a Star Trek Day, but that was at the Renaissance Fair that some of my friends here did come out too. And by the way, guys, we're doing that again this year. So, and we're expanding it this year too. Any time traveler, Doctor Who, Star Trek, any time traveler, get in on this. Last year, I think there was like 12 of us or whatever. It was a pretty big crew. So this year, I am hoping that we can get even bigger and better. So stay tuned for that. I think they even moved it up a couple of weeks too. So hopefully it won't be as cold and shitty as it was last year. Dean, you had expressed interest in coming last year, but we didn't see you. So hopefully this year we can see you. I'll start disseminating that information out on the interwebs here very, very soon. So Lord of the Rings Evermind Fair. Yeah, there's 2 days. So the one day, definitely Lord of the Rings, and then probably this Sunday we'll do Trek. So, or Time Travelers, I should say.
When is Ren Fair again?
I said they did move it up. Oxford Renaissance. I can never spell Renaissance, so let's just start typing it and let it take over because no idea how to spell Renaissance. And even after I've seen it, I'm like, yeah, I'll totally remember that. And then the next time I go to spell it, I'm like, how the fuck do you spell mid-September? Yeah, I know they moved the venue to a better venue, and I believe they moved it back because of the weather, because last year the weather was just so utterly shitty. I don't know why all of a sudden a website doesn't want to load for me. So
coming up for me now, September. Oh wow, it's late September. September 27th, 29th.
Okay, yeah. I knew they only moved it a couple of weeks. Last year was like mid-October. So
okay.
And the venue, I shouldn't say the venue sucks. It doesn't suck, but like the venue, like it wasn't Oxford the last week of September. Megan Murray would know. Editor Megan will be working there as well. So
is this the week after London Comic Con?
It would be the week after London Comic Con. Yeah. Oh no, 2 weeks. I think London Comic Con's like the 13th, 14th or something. So it would actually be 2 weeks after.
After.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to.
It's a good time.
It
is a good time, but I know it's the travel and all that jazz. But for
everything
all of
is
it,
so far, when it comes to that type of stuff for me.
well,
Right?
I mean, there are some folks coming in from Toronto. At least there were last year. So maybe you would only have to get to Toronto and then just carpool with somebody at that point or something. I don't. Anyways, I'm not pressuring you. If you can do it, great. If you can't, that's fine. But we're going to do it again this year, regardless.
If I do it for sure, I'm coming with my Trek uniform, 100%.
No, that's
I'm in
well.
on that.
You can't come if you don't.
Well, yeah, there you go. Guys, what are we talking about tonight on the podcast, Mr. Eka?
We are going to discuss cult classic films. It's our top 10 list. We've been talking about doing this one for a while, but I think one of the main things that stopped us, that the intimidating things in talking about cult classic, and this is for, and by the way, I don't know if any of you are watching, that we're watching back early on, especially when we did villains, but this is for all of you like, what are the criteria for all you whiny bitches about that? This one's tough because this one's tough because
oh wow, it's going to be one of these episodes.
It's going to be one of those. Cult classics is not something that has a hard definition to, right? Like it's open to interpretation. So what I will do is I'll give you what Copilot says is. And Copilot, by the way, is Microsoft's version of an AI. What it says, a movie is a cult classic. In essence, a cult classic is a film that, despite not fitting into mainstream trends or achieving immediate success, manages to garner a dedicated and passionate fan base due to its unique qualities and appeal. We should know that, I mean, for me anyway, the biggest thing is like almost everything else that we've talked about in the top 10 is its impact on the zeitgeist. Like how much is this known now in culture, in pop culture, in regular culture? Like how many times do you reference this particular thing? And some of these, by the way, are such deep references that the references are made and people don't even know that that's actually what they're referencing. That's how deep some of these cult classics go, right? So Reefer Madness count. If it fits in that particular category, probably, but we are going to be trying, again, it's a top 10. So we're going to be trying to look for sort of the creme de la creme, if you will. And I know when we thought about this today, there was one that immediately popped into my head, and then everything else is kind of. I usually have a list. I don't have one today. I'm going to be kind of working off a couple of different sites that I found.
So I have a list, but again, for me, the difficulty was defining what actually constituted a cult classic.
And hey, man, that's
the problem that I'm having is when I start looking at top 10 lists online of cult classics, a lot of them I haven't seen. Right, the movies that I think in my head that are cult classics, by definition, are like cult classic. They're a stretch. You know what I mean? Calling them cult classics.
Nada there saying there's going to be movie quote tie-ins, and I'm going to want to fight again.
Well, that's possible. That is very possible.
You're pretty fighty lately. I'm not going to lie. Like, Nada, is everything okay over there? You're prone to violence. Like for Nada, violence isn't the answer. Violence isn't the answer. Violence is the question, and her answer is yes. Waterworld, says Alicia Narain. You know what?
Yeah,
we did discuss. So I'm glad you brought that up, actually, Alicia, because we talked about this on the show. So anything that was, to me, Waterworld is not a cult classic because it still was seen by a huge chunk of people at the time. It was a failure.
My parents have seen Waterworld. My grandparents saw Waterworld. Like,
it was a failure because of how much it cost to make, not because of how much it made, right? So if that movie cost $30 million, it's a gigantic, huge success. So John Carter is another really good example of what I'm talking about. You could even talk the Lone Ranger up in there. There's a few other ones that are like that where they still did like $300 million worldwide. There's so many movies that would love to do $300 million worldwide. They just can't cost $250 million to make. Otherwise, they're bombs. But I don't know that necessarily. Yeah. By the way, I'd like to point out, I fucking love Waterworld.
It's a good movie.
It's a good flick. I really like that. Is Shawshank Redemption too popular to be a cult flick? I mean, it's interesting because it did bomb. It did not do well in theaters at all. Yeah. It did not. Now, mind you, it was still nominated for Best Picture and stuff, but it bombed in movies. And it is currently number 1 on IMDb's top 250 movies of all time, as voted by audience, like based on audience rankings.
Yeah, so, I think if it's number 1 in the top 250 movies of all time on an IMDb list, I don't think we can call that a cult classic. I feel like that's
The fan base for it is too
big
broad.
of a movie. Yeah, that's a massive, massive movie with a
Catwoman, shut up, Peter. Jesus, boot Peter from
you
the
know, I mean, the problem with Catwoman is
everything,
just shit, right? So
everything.
Nobody likes
A Clockwork Orange. Is Natasha right? Absolutely, 100%. Nada mentioned Fight Club up there, 100%. Natural Born Killers. Waterworld was Mad Max in the water and cost $275 million more. By the way, Mad Max, cult classic. The original Mad Max, low budge, Australian made movie with a completely unknown Mel Gibson. Yeah, total cult classic.
Jeff,
100%.
is that your first pick, Mad Max? Is that
Mad
your
Max? Mad Max. Let's do it. Absolutely. Mad Max, pick number 1. Fight me, kids. By the way, difficult. I shouldn't say difficult to watch now, but it was definitely a movie first time. Again, what you're going to find with cult classic films is a lot of them are low budget movies that weren't ever intended to be seen by a broad audience.
Correct.
But it was a low budget Australian film that caught attention and caught enough attention that they made a sequel. By the way, still in Australia, The Road Warrior is not called The Road Warrior. The Road Warrior is called Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, because it is a sequel, still made in Australia. When they brought it over to the US, they rebranded it as The Road Warrior because they assumed most people hadn't seen Mad Max. That's why there's not a lot of tie-ins between the two films, even though it is a direct sequel. So was Evil Dead mentioned? No, we literally have just started. So I know it's 21 minutes in and we're only just starting now. But
with our number 1, Mad Max.
Number 1 is Mad Max. That's my pick. Evil Dead we talked about earlier too. But JS, what is your pick?
I'm going to go with one that's a little bit low on my list, but I have to talk about this movie, and the movie's Slapshot. Nobody's mentioned that in the comments yet. And I need to tell everybody a little bit of a story about Slapshot because, even though it's an American movie with Paul Newman as the main character in this movie, a lot of the French hockey players are Quebec actors. So a movie that was very, very, very popular in Quebec, not only because they had a lot of Quebec actors, but because when they translated the movie, they didn't translate it into proper French. They translated it into Quebec French with slang and swearing and all, which made it even better in French than the original in English. That never happens, okay? I've seen a lot of translated movies in my life. And the translated version is never as good as the original, except for Slapshot. Slapshot is fucking genius.
No. I'm not surprised because even in the English of the film, they constantly, especially the goalie, they constantly make fun of the French guys. Constantly make fun of the French guys in the French accent and dropping all their H's and everything else. So dude, I'm 100% down for Slapshot. Again, same thing. So especially in junior hockey and in minor hockey, it's the Bible. They literally call it the Bible. So if you get into junior hockey, the first thing they make you do is they make you watch Slapshot, and they're like, "This is how it is." They're on the bus, like shitty arenas, terrible crowds. Like this is what minor league hockey is. Yeah, it's you go to the box and you feel shame for 2 minutes, and then you go free.
I mean, I'm not even going to ask. I know Slapshot's nowhere near Mad Max.
No, it's definitely
feeling that is your number 1 pick, isn't it?
What's that?
Is that your number 1, Mad Max?
Nope.
It's not your number 1. Okay.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, I can reveal my number 1 up close here, right off the top. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not holding it back
it's up to you. I mean,
Look at these guys, like Strange Brew, to zap it, props. Strange. I mean, unfortunately, you have to be Canadian to be able to put Strange Brew on there. So that one's a little bit of a tougher sell for sure. But I would put that in an honorable mention for sure.
Yeah,
I don't know that it would make a top 10 necessarily, but I fucking love Strange Brew. Are you kidding me? That's like the quintessential Canadian movie.
Just watch Slapshot. Loved it. I hope you watched it in French, bud. It's the best.
There's no Buckaroo Banzai, by the way, Keith L. Again, I don't know if it would be top 10, but it would definitely make my top 10 list. It's got maybe my favorite quote of all time in film is in Buckaroo Banzai. So I get it, dude. Jennifer, don't you worry. I got you. It's one of my top 3 comedies of all time. So it's definitely going to go up there as well. But I am going to say one that so you went with a weird one. I'm going to go with a weird one too. One that I only recently stumbled across as a cult classic is Big Trouble in Little China. For me, it's first of all, it is a John Carpenter film, so you wouldn't necessarily think, even though John Carpenter films kind of had that niche almost, like not huge at the box office, like even Escape from New York and a lot of Carpenter films weren't big at the box office, but then as soon as they hit syndication or video, they just blew the fuck up. And in my generation, this movie came out in 1986. In my generation, it might be like the ultimate guy film. That's not supposed to necessarily be a guy film, but like Kurt Russell is just chewing scenery. And I don't know, man. I fucking love, I absolutely love. Yeah, you guys are getting something. Yeah, Sean Sullivan, Big Trouble in Little China. He's got it on there. Buckaroo Banzai. Yep, absolutely. Big Trouble, I would probably put it below Max and above Slap, but
I agree.
It's all in the reflexes, Wang. Yeah, you guys are all now saying what my number one is. So, because it is number one. And if he tries to argue with me on it, he's just wrong on every level.
I don't know, man. Really? Go ahead.
Dude.
Oh, it's my turn.
It's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn. Look at that. Where do I go?
I'm just going to say, I feel like your choices are very boomer. Careful, your age is showing, sirs. Please suggest some things that are more millennial. This should be good.
Yeah. I'm gonna, where do I go? I'm gonna say Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yep. Another boomer pick.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not
gonna lie. I really hesitated between that one or Doctor Strangelove.
Right.
I felt Doctor Strangelove, probably a lot of the people that watch this show don't know what that is. So
Starship Troopers was a huge success. That's not going to cut it.
Yeah, that's not a cult classic. That was a massive movie. Monty Python and the Holy Grail, again, there's a lot of people that know quotes from this movie.
There you go, Alicia. There. Yes, that one's going to come up, and the one you mentioned right before that's going to come up next. So
yeah,
now you're getting some of them. So
yeah. Those are coming up. Those are coming up.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Yeah, you have to have Holy Grail there. There's no question.
Yeah.
People reference it all the time. The nice to say, anytime you've ever heard someone say "tis but a scratch," and you've heard a million people say "tis but a scratch," it's from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
If you don't know anything else, but you don't even have to have. Yeah, the Black Knight is the best part of the film, says David Legault. Yeah, because that's what I mean. Like it's definitely in the zeitgeist. It did not make money, like most of the Monty Python shit didn't make money, but afterwards, yeah, dude.
Where do you see that on this list?
Probably number 2 on that list.
I was gonna say, but I didn't want to,
No. I would say number 2 on that list for sure.
All right,
guys. Big
I'm
Trouble.
glad we're on the same page here.
No, yeah, Big Trouble. Well, we're about to not be, sir. So,
it's
watch your mouth. Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
There we go. That was a little bit big for our board here, but oh well.
That's all right. Yes, I mean we're gonna get out of the way you guys probably gonna have to. Yeah, of course, Erica. We know it's gonna be Caddyshack. If I don't say this, and I'm sure this is gonna cause a huge argument, but you guys are gonna have to back me up. It is the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I mean the reason why they talk about cult movies is because of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It is. There's operas about it. There's plays about it. There's shadow plays about it. I guarantee you, somewhere right now, there's a live performance of Rocky Horror Picture Show happening right now.
Wasn't it written as a musical? Like it was a musical before it was a movie.
Well, it's still a musical, yeah. But I mean, it's like there's props. People have not only memorized the dialogue, but they've added dialogue in between pieces of the film. Like something will happen, and you have to shout something, and then there's props that you're supposed to bring. And I've been to showings where if you don't bring props, they'll give you a bag at the door, so you have all the appropriate props to use at the particular time in the movie. There is no cult classic like Rocky Horror Picture. The way that fan base is passionate in the way. Yeah, Rocky needs to be number 1. Rocky Horror number 1. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, toast exactly. Yeah, by the way, if you've never gone to, and I want to say this by the way, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the film at all, but I would still recommend for everybody to go to a live screening of Rocky Horror Picture Show, one where you can participate, because it's unlike anything else you're going to do. I've seen it.
I've never even heard of this.
You've never heard of the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
No.
Tim Curry,
I've
Sweet
heard
Transvestite?
of Rocky Horror. Yes.
Oh,
I've never heard of going to a. Dude, don't get me started, bud. You're lucky you're in fucking London right now.
You've never fucking heard of the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I've never heard of a fucking live showing where you had fucking props and shit like that.
Dude,
No, that's the first
I
time
recommend
hear
for
of that.
everybody that you go out and check out a live showing. And if you can, by the way, I had an opportunity to go to see I guess there's a couple of different ways they do a live performance. They'll do what's called a shadow cast. So they'll have the movie playing in the background and they'll have live actors in front playing out the things from the film. But then you can also, here in London at the Grand Theatre, where we get the raffle tickets for the May the 4th event, they also had a live play, a live showing. And they actually had audience participation in that too, where like when you were doing the time warp, they had audience people comes up onto the stage to do the time warp with the actors. The actors hung around. They throw shit around and sing along. Yeah, it's wild.
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
I would recommend it for
clearly
everybody.
never
Even if you're not a
seen-
fan, and I'm not a fan at all, you should go to a live rendition with participation of Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's a great time.
I mean, it's look. I kind of feel the same vibe as when we went to see what's a Rock of Ages. You know what I mean? Like you see the movie and it's cool, but when you see the show, it's like holy fuck! Like it's like the production is ridiculous. So I can imagine going to this specific show must be a little bit crazy.
Number one, stamped it, double locked it, no erases, nothing's topping that.
Yeah, okay. I think
List
I'm gonna go with what my number one is.
Yeah, do
which
it.
I'm assuming is probably gonna end up number two if I'm 100% honest.
Sure.
And I'm kind of surprised nobody's mentioned it so far. So this one might be a controversial one, but I'm gonna say Blade Runner
You're not going to get any argument from me, sir.
as my number one. Blade Runner. Like it was another one of those movies that cost a fortune to make that didn't really do well in theaters.
No, it bombed. It's not that it didn't. By the way, it bombed critically too upon release.
Well, it wasn't until the director's cut came out that people
Even
didn't
then.
really. That's when people started getting into Blade Runner, when the director's cut came out years later, right? Okay. So I didn't realize it. Zappit Prop says I said Blade Runner. I didn't catch that.
I don't know which movie Megan's referring to. Like the movie made good money compared to their budget, and it's not exactly a cult following franchise. There's been multiple sequels to, and it's massively popular now. I don't know which one she's talking about. Alicia, you're saying for boomers. Do you know why Blade Runner is a cult classic? Because you probably watched a movie this year that was directly inspired by Blade Runner. Blade Runner's impact on cinema is I don't know if there's another movie that impacted cinema the way Blade Runner impacted cinema. Every year there are multiple Blade Runner clones that come out, or films that are designed to look like Blade Runner. When Chris Nolan went to sit down to do the Dark Knight trilogy, the first film he showed the crew was Blade Runner, and he said, "This is how we're doing Batman." So, is it a boomer pick? Yeah, probably, but it's a boomer pick. It's a pick because of its impact on cinema overall. Yeah, dude, it's Blade Runner. And again, because it was shit on critically and it didn't make any money when it first came out, I mean, it already fits the dynamic there as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make an executive decision and just put it here.
We had to watch it in school. Yeah. Trust me, if you go to film school, you're going to have to watch it there too, because it's just what
Now,
it is.
I mean,
Bob's
is
Burgers
it the
featured
best
this year.
movie in the world? I'll admit that Blade Runner is not one of my favorite movies.
What's one of mine?
Like it's an okay movie. The second one was shit. I hated.
Yeah, I did not like 2049 either.
2040. That was just. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? But you're right. It inspired and created a genre. Right, that whole cyberpunk genre comes from this
100%.
movie.
100%.
Right. So.
Yep.
I believe it's your turn.
Well, now I feel like I have to
buddy?
try to pick a non-boomer pick because you're all up in my ass about being boomer picks. But here we go. How about Clerks?
That's totally a boomer pick, bud. What are you
It's
talking
1994. How is Clerks a boomer pick? It's not a boomer pick. What do you want? A movie that guy made last year? Yeah, it's not going to be a cult classic, guys. Part of the thing is it's got to be around for a while to develop a cult following. 95 is about as recent as a goddamn movie as I can find on lists here.
Yeah.
Everything on the list that I'm seeing is all like Barbarella and shit. So, like, what do you want me to do?
All right, so Clerks.
I mean, basically launched Kevin Smith's career.
Mhm.
Mallrats over Clerks, but still yes. Yeah, no, I get it. I would, but Mallrats was the bigger budgeted of the two. Like Mallrats was supposed to be kind of a hit movie. Clerks was not. Clerks was like two guys in a fucking basement making a film, right? Maxing out credit cards and doing that, and it essentially launched not just Kevin Smith's career, but like again, same thing, like a genre of filmmaking, right? So dialogue, yeah, Clerks and Mallrats raised me, yeah. But you're quite a bit younger than us. Yeah, no, I mean, you can't deny, even if you're not a Kevin Smith fan, and I know he's a very divisive guy, like, I enjoy
You say
Kevin
that
Smith,
like we're
this guy
actual
doesn't.
boomers here.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're boomer adjacent. I know we're Gen X, but I know. No, guys, we could be talking about, like, Freaks or, like, you know, like, really old 70s movies, and we're not doing that. So, I mean, I know we're picking a lot of, like, 80s shit, but I feel like that's kind of what the term was meant to sort of be about. But, yeah, anyways. Yeah. Where does it go on the list, JS?
I don't know. You tell me.
We'll bring the list up, and
If I'm the one, if you're asking me, it doesn't even make my top 10 list. But you know, I know I'll get flack for that. But not a fan of those movies. Not a fan of
They Live, guys. The whole list. By the way, the whole list could be John Carpenter films.
Yeah,
the whole list could be John Carpenter films.
4.
Everything could be a John Carpenter. This entire list could be just nothing but John Carpenter films, and it would all be accurate. But yeah, 62 here. I am a boomer. There you go.
Okay, I tell you what. Where do we put Clerks?
Bring the list up. I don't know. I can't see the list. How am I supposed to figure that out?
Boom. There we go. Where do we put Clerks?
5.
Yeah, okay.
I would say 5.
Yeah, okay.
On that particular list, that's where I would put it.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I agree. I mean, let's be honest. Clerks. I mean, the following that came of that, the spin-offs and the, you know, listen, it's
Top 10 John Carpenter films next time. I'm so fucking down.
Yeah,
there's gonna be 4. By the way, there's gonna be 4 people watching that podcast. But
yeah, well, you know, so They Live is gonna be my next pick. It's my number 4 on my list. Roddy Piper, bud. I mean, how can you not love this movie? It's Roddy Piper realizing that there are extraterrestrials on this planet through a set of cheap-ass plastic sunglasses. And back in the day was meant to be a little bit of a campy movie, but that fight that they have, him and I forget what his name is. I mean, if it wasn't a wrestler, Keith David, thank you. Who,
by the way, is going to be at Fan Expo this year, and all I want to talk to him about is that fight scene. Is he really? Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That fight that they had was fantastic. It was like watching a WWE match.
I literally just posted this reel on my Instagram. I was like, I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. So yeah, it's if you, by the way, guys, same thing. Like, I'm willing to bet you there's stuff you've seen. Have you seen the clothing brand Obey? It's directly. Oh,
this is where that comes from.
Of course. It's the exact font. It's the exact italic. It's from They Live. That's what I mean. That's where this shit gets in your head, is a lot of people, like, I bet you millennials have no idea that you're all buying that Obey shit. At least you were. I don't know if it's still popular now or not, but none of you had any idea what that was from. That's what really makes it a true cult classic.
Can we make an Obey shirt, but like a Geeks and Co. Obey shirt? So
of course we can. 100%.
Where do we put this?
Wow, like this one's really tough because it is like,
yeah, I think it kind of has to go, 6, 7-ish.
It's definitely above Big Trouble, but below Clerks. That's probably where I would.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, these ones here are gonna get bumped, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because we've barely scratched the surface of my list.
Well, again, because we're not going by a specific genre or whatever, so we knew this was gonna kind of happen, and that's okay, guys. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you got to go outside the box a little bit of.
Where do you want to go next?
Box thinking. It's been mentioned quite a few times here, and it'd be hard. I'd be hard pressed not to. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say The Lost Boys.
Yeah. Another one on my list. Thank you.
Again, yeah. What it did for
Kiefer Sutherland.
What it did for that kind of genre of film, I think is again extremely important. So, because up until then, I mean, vampire movies were all very like blah, blah, like they were dark and mysterious and creepy. And this one, not only did they bring in like Labyrinth, yes, Megan, I'm sure it will get mentioned. It'll be honorable mentions at this point, but it ushered in a different style of vampire movies. So then it's, would you consider Kill Bill a cult classic? Says David. Here's the funny part about what I just said about John Carpenter. We could also make the same list of Quentin Tarantino movies because a lot of his, especially his early films, did not do well at the box office, but ended up defining top 10 cult classics seems contradictory. It does. There's a cognitive dissonance to it. There's no question there.
Yeah.
But again, it's here we are.
Sorry, where were we on?
The Lost Boys.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. 5? 4? 5? 4? 4, 5? Probably in around there somewhere.
Yeah, I have a hard time putting it above 4 just because of the cultural significance of the Holy Grail and the quotes that came out of that movie and the spoofs and
Fair.
Like,
yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
no, I'm good with it at 5. For sure, I'm good with it at 5.
All right.
Mad Max needs to be way lower. How is Monty Python below that? Said the millennial. I love how this is you. They're ignoring you, Alicia, on purpose. Yeah, because she's smacking us for being. All she's doing is making fun of us for being boomers, and we're not even boomers. So Alicia is now dead to us, for sure.
Is Alicia like a Gen Z?
No, she's a millennial for sure. She comes across as like an alpha for sure.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, Alicia. We kid.
Get off my goddamn lawn. We can go through some we can rapid fire off a bunch of ones that are clearly not going to make a top 10 for sure, but because like you said, a bunch of these are going to get Stripes.
How about
that's
this?
The fact, Jack. I love.
Yeah.
Stripes,
How about
it's not a top 10.
How about we just because it's already 1:45. How about we start rapid firing some, and then the ones that we think makes the list, then we can have that discussion. How's that?
Well, I think there's at least one more really big one that we have to put on here that if we don't...
Sure.
What the fuck did you just say? Fight Club.
I have a couple more big ones. Yeah.
Fight Club is, again, which I think someone mentioned way up at the top, but I mean, it's Fight Club, guys. It bombed at the box office. I don't even think it did that well critically. And then, I mean, again, same thing. Like everyone knows the film. Everybody I mean, well, you don't, because the number one rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. And the number two rule about Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. Its impact on the zeitgeist cannot be... first mention was Fight Club. Yeah. To me, that's like 3, maybe even 2. Like it's...
Essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, I can make a case for 3 for sure. 2.
Yeah. 2, okay. I probably wouldn't supplant Blade Runner, but definitely 3 for sure.
Yeah, okay. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yep. And by the way, the list isn't static, Megan. I know you're having a fucking meltdown over there, but we can move Mad Max if we have to. It's okay. I agree. Mad Max probably shouldn't be above Monty Python and the Holy Grail. You're probably not wrong. I would still put it above Clerks, but I mean, I wouldn't move it down below
Yeah,
Clerks.
I mean, those two could probably get flipped, but
that's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I mean,
above Blade Runner, says Nada. She's feisty today. Woo.
What's going above Blade Runner?
Mad Max does not fit your bombing, but how does it not? It was an independent film that only came out in Australia. Did Mad Max make huge dollars worldwide that I'm not aware of?
Well, let's see right now. It actually grossed $100 million worldwide. But is that including everything, or is it just
No, that's probably just the film.
The theaters.
All right. If that's the case, I mean, every single top 100 list that I looked up for cult classics, Mad Max came up on every single one of them. So
no, that's incorrect. That is incorrect. Mad Max only made $8.7 million worldwide. The original Mad Max movie. So it didn't make a lot of money at all. So yeah, another big one that we didn't mention, and I don't know if this one's going to count as a cult classic because again, I feel like this one was a bit of a bigger budget movie, a lot of known actors. I feel like it probably did a little bit better in theaters, but Pulp Fiction. What do we think of Pulp Fiction? Does that make this list?
It came up on a lot. Okay, sorry. I'm just going to put this Mad Max thing to bed. It did make 100 million worldwide. It only made 8.7 million in North America. Overseas, it made 92 million. So it did make 100 million worldwide. I guess on a budget of $400,000. I mean, the argument could be made. In fact, The Road Warrior would actually be more akin to a cult classic than, because that cost 10 million to make, or 4.5 million to make, and it only made 36 million worldwide. But yeah, Mad Max, the original Mad Max, did make 100 million, so maybe that does have to come off the list if that's going to be the case.
All righty, well there goes Mad Max. Boo.
I want a Geeks and Co. Millennials hate our boomer choices on a T-shirt. Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case,
I only put it in again because it came up on a bunch of like official lists, so I just assumed it was going to be something that was going to be in there.
Doesn't make it either. So I'm going to change my choice to Evil Dead.
Yeah, they've been screaming.
And when I choose Evil Dead, let's talk about the whole Evil Dead as a series, not just the first one, but everything that's come after. Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, the Evil Dead, Ash versus the Evil Dead. Blah blah blah. There's a lot that goes into the Evil Dead, and I think we'd be remiss if we didn't include them all into one.
We would be remiss.
So Evil Dead, does this make the list?
This is a wild episode to choose preceding a weekend around your viewers. You're probably right, but you guys got your way, so don't go rubbing it in. You all got what you wanted. It's off the list. You're fine now. we appease the millennials. Yeah, if it makes it for me, it would be low. You know what? That's the problem. Yeah, Evil Dead musical was a big success. Yeah, I mean,
for me, Evil Dead
kind of usher in like the comedy base sort of,
the comedy horror.
Yeah. 6 or 7 seems awfully high. I don't know, man. Thank you, motherfuckers, says Alicia. Yeah, I have to spend the weekend with Alicia. This is going to be great. I'm never going to be hearing the end of this shit.
Replaces Mad Max? No way.
Fuck off. Are you out of your mind?
No.
4th?
So.
No. That's bonkers.
I see it perhaps 6, maybe 5, not 4.
I'm gonna rely. This is not my genre, so it wouldn't be like this is gonna be more on you than it would be on me.
Executive decision.
Give her, do it. Piss them all off. See, we haven't had one of these in a while. We haven't had one where we pissed off the majority of the people in the chat, and I've been looking forward to this because this is what it's supposed to be. I don't think Erica quite gets what the goal of these is. I think hopefully she's starting to see it now. Solid 6. There you go. Absolutely.
Cult classic is the prime descriptor of Evil Dead. Fair enough.
Yeah. Now, like I said, we could probably just start ringing stuff off.
Yeah. Oh, there's another good one that we haven't talked about. That's on my list.
Who? What?
Labyrinth.
Oh boy, we better mention Labyrinth, or fucking Megan's gonna have a goddamn meltdown. And I can't wait to put it below Slapshot and watch her head explode.
Well, actually, I would probably replace Slapshot with Labyrinth. I'd be cool with that.
She's gonna freak out. What? So give me. So someone in the chat then needs to give me the argument for Labyrinth then. Yeah, did it not make money? And then what's the cultural impact? Like what about Labyrinth is going to make it? Because I got to be honest with you, on a lot of the, like I'm on the IMDb Cult Classic Top 100 right now, and I haven't come across Labyrinth yet, and I'm in the 80s. Not that this list is the end all be all. It's not, but I've yet to see it on any of the lists that I have looked up for this.
It only made $34 million worldwide on a budget of $25 million.
Okay.
So it did not make money.
No.
And
But
it
what
cost
makes
a
it-
fortune to make for back in those days.
What makes it a cult classic is, I guess, what I want to know. Is it that impactful in the zeitgeist? Like, is it that...
I mean, you'd have a hard time finding anybody, but that's
That what?
25 and above that hasn't seen this movie.
Okay. Because I didn't see
Right?
it until like last year.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
In this essay, I will explain why Labyrinth belongs on this list. Please, Erica, do continue, because so far I haven't seen an argument come up yet. The first thing that comes up when you Google Labyrinth is box office flop. Cool. That's not the only criteria.
Well, no. But tell me that movie does not have a following, a cult following.
I don't know. Does it? This is what I'm asking. Because so far the same
I mean,
three people
Rob
in the
printed
chat,
out the knockers, the Labyrinth knockers.
the same three
his
people are
wife's
the ones
library.
that are like, I haven't seen Labyrinth, says Nicole. The same three people are saying it should be, but no one else has weighed in on this. So, like, do you guys agree that Labyrinth is A, a cult classic, and B, should be a top 10 cult classic? Because so far, I don't know, man.
Yeah, see,
Not
Andrew
the
says
vibe I'm getting.
one tells the truth, the other one tells the other one lies. Yeah, those are the knockers when she's confronted with the question, right?
Yes. I mean, don't get me wrong. That's an old trope, but yes, it does. You monstrous boob. Yeah. Again, you're one of the three people I was referencing, so your vote does not count. Christina saying no, not at all. You'll find Labyrinth content at every convention. Okay. Cult classic, yes, but I wouldn't say top 10s is Toxic Fox. It's good, but not top 10s is Michael Icon. Nada, I think it's up there, but I mean, we've already discussed your opinion. It's terrible. It fits everything else. I met puppeteers in the movie at 3 or 4 different cons. It's an honorable mention. Whatever it is, guys, it's clearly divisive. It's certainly not like everybody thinks it should be there. In fact, I think we're up to 4 people yes and probably about 6 people no. So I think we go with the majority on this one. I think we decide it's an honorable mention. If you hold on, if you want to go ahead and put it at 10 for now, I'm fine with that.
I mean,
It's going to get bumped off the list anyway. But you can go ahead and put it on 10th for now. Oh, fuck. You must be in, yeah, but you must be in Microsoft Word because you just fucked up the format.
Holy shit, there we go.
Becca's over here losing her mind, just screaming shit out. Zap it. It was good. You're a flipping honorable mention. I mean, you're right. I am, in fact, an honorable. I'm a lot of things. Honorable is not among them.
Office Space.
Ha! Again, I'm biased on this. Office Space is like one of my top 3 of all time.
I love that movie. It was actually number 3 or 4 on the list.
If you were listening earlier, Megan, I pointed out Why They Live is on the list, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's at 80. It's probably going to get bumped off, just like Labyrinth and just like Big Trouble. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't want to be a jerk, but I kind of feel like it's going to get bumped off right
100%
now.
100% it's going to get bumped off
with Office Space.
Office Space honorable mention. You are a crazy person.
No.
I watched Office Space a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that movie many times. Now, is this a movie that made any money?
I don't know if any
Office
of the Mike
Space
Judge movies made
box
money.
office. Let's see what they say here. Oh, wow. It made $12.2 million on a $10 million budget.
So well on.
However,
okay.
it sold well on home
Please,
video
yes.
and has become a cult film.
Yeah.
Boom. Even Google says it. So I'm sorry.
By the way, Office Space has been mentioned up and down the list like 14 times. So
I'm calling it. Sorry.
yeah.
Sorry, folks.
Yeah.
It just gets bumped by Office Space. Although
no, Office Space goes above Big Trouble. Hell, I put Office Space above They Live.
Really?
Hey guys, I have a fantastic idea. Yeah. How about you millennials start your own podcast with your own top 10 lists, and we'll come on and comment how shitty you guys are doing on yours. How about that?
Let me try to fix this stupid list here. I don't know what's going on here.
Original Dune, I would have. It's not contradictory, Erica. It's more, well, you know what? Sure. Let's go with contradictory. Absolutely. Dirty Dancing. No. Come on, man. Office
and
Space
you
was
said
mid.
Office Space where?
Yeah, probably right there. I mean, maybe it's 7 or 8. It's one of the. It's for me. It's one or the other for sure.
Well, what is it? Is it 7 or 8?
We're gonna start our own podcast with Blackjack and Hookers.
What do you want it? Tell me now. I'm good with either.
Megan, it literally said, go Google, just Google Office Space box office. It says right in the descriptor that it's a cult classic. I get that you guys have your personal criteria for what that is. That doesn't mean that that's what it is. There's many, we started off this podcast by saying that it's really hard to define what cult classic means, which is what Erica keeps slapping us for. We get it. But we're all going to have our own kind of definitions. That's why you're all having your own versions of this list. The only thing we all agreed on was Rocky Horror Picture Show. Everything else is going to be up for grabs, guys. So, because everything, almost nearly every single movie you guys have mentioned has been up there. Glenn Gregg and Ross, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Spaceball, like they're all there.
Yeah.
But the list can't be 100 things long. Like we're going to have to like narrow it down. So,
what about UHF?
I mean, I love UHF. It's an honorable mention for sure.
What about probably an SNL cat, the best SNL cast movie, my favorite SNL cast movie, MacGruber.
I'm gonna move forward like pretending you didn't say that.
You throw some out.
Oh, I don't even have to. Like, Office Space is a cult classic. Thank you, Matt. I agree. The Warriors, yes, I would definitely give it an honorable mention. The Room is tough because, like, I get it. It's kind of like Plan 9, right? Like, it is a cult classic. I don't think there's any question it's a cult classic. I think it has to go on a different list, though, because it's really, if we ever do a so bad it's good list, it would definitely be The Room, Plan 9 from Outer Space, like those kind of movies. I'm not questioning that it's a cult classic. At 100%, The Room. They made another movie about The Room. So really? It's 100. Yes, with Franco and Seth Rogen and everything about the Tommy Wiseau that made The Room or whatever. They made a movie about making that movie.
Oh, and, really? They made a movie about him making that movie.
About him making that movie. Yeah, and it's fucking glorious. No. I get the argument for The Room, but I feel like. You mean Night at the Roxbury? Fantastic film. I don't know if that would be
Night at the Roxbury is also good, but yeah, I don't know that would be a cult classic. No.
Original Dune. Yeah, I would probably put that. Yeah, I mean, you could probably make it. And same with Clue. Like I like both of those picks. Again, we're back to the boomer picks, but. I do like both of those picks, but I don't know. Like, if anything, they would probably be in like the 9 to 10 spot. Like, it feels like now all we're doing is we're just shoving things in 9 and 10, and we just keep bumping the final two down over and over and over again.
Natasha says the Blair Witch Project, the old one, not the remake. Unfortunately, the original Blair Witch Project was a massive hit, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It was. Everybody was talking about it back then. Actually, we were just talking about this the other day. How that movie was marketed as an actual found footage documentary style movie where they were trying to make you believe that, this really happened. Then they tried to make you believe that it was based on a true story. None of that was true. It was just a movie, right? That had a great concept. They created the found footage stuff, but I'm pretty sure it made bank. I'm seeing a lot of movies here that I feel like weren't like the movies that made a lot of money. Starship Troopers made a ton of money. Old School, I feel like that made a ton of money. The Craft. I don't know about The Craft. Look up The Craft quickly. 1F. If I spelled that properly, that might help out a lot. The Craft box office. I mean, it didn't make a ton of money. $55.6 million worldwide on a $15 million budget. There's no denying The Craft has a massive following. I mean, it's had its own reboot and all that stuff. I mean, again, does it crack the top 10?
Which one? Oh, no, I don't think so. I would put the original Dune before I put any of those.
Yeah, the original Dune, I'd be tempted
to put that at like 9. Probably below Office Space. I would put Dune. Tremors, I love, by the way. The Tremors is a tough sell too. I fucking love Tremors, but like its passionate following has kind of declined. I know they've kind of tried to bring it back a few times. I know it had some direct-to-video sequels, but I fucking
be
love
honest.
Tremors, man.
Dune, that's a good point. And I don't know why I didn't think of this, but Dune actually lost money.
Oh yeah, it was
At the box
hugely
office.
expensive for the time. Hugely expensive.
$40 to $42 million budget, and it only made $30 million at the box office.
Yeah, Starship Troopers did make over 100 million. I don't know if Starship Troopers necessarily fits the mold for what we're trying to get to.
Yeah, I would put Dune on here. I don't know who came up with Dune, but good call.
A few different people have mentioned Dune.
Yeah, I
Definitely
would,
not Alicia.
Flatliners, the original Flatliners, another great Kiefer Sutherland movie.
Yeah, I don't know
But
if it's
I don't
a
know
cult
that-
classic.
yeah, I
Remo
don't
Williams,
know
Keith L. We're showing our age. I fucking loved Remo Williams. I had to throw
Dune.
something else in there since you're ignoring my Death Race. Yes.
Oh, Death Race is a good one as well.
I do like Death Race as well for sure. I
Yeah.
don't know that it would crack a top 10. I would have Death Race as an honorable mention personally, but sorry, the original Dune. Yeah, I would put that below Office Space and above They Live. Is where I
Yeah?
would put that personally.
Here?
I think
Yeah,
so.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Lynch's Dune. Make sure that we're clear on that.
That work for you?
Yep.
Death Race. What year was there? There's so many Death Race productions. There's so many different. This most recent one wasn't very good at all. 2008 with what's his face?
Was it
Statham.
Jason Statham? Yeah.
Yeah, that was just so silly. 19. What was it? 76. No, that was The Game. 1975. That was Death Race 2000. Holy shit! How many of these were there?
A few.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like again a good franchise. I don't know if for me that cracks my top 10. Even though I'm a car guy, let's be honest, and I don't know that cracks my top 10.
That's fair. I mean, there's another one that for me ranks pretty high just because of how there's still stuff going on about it too. But I don't know that it would crack. The Big Lebowski is
Yeah.
like they have Lebowski conventions.
Mm-hmm,
I know Megan was like, if it's still popular at conventions, they have entire events based around the Big Lebowski where everybody dresses up in characters like the dude and everything else. And it's like probably the quintessential Coen movie. I mean, for me, it would probably hit like 10 if that was going to be the case, like on my personal list. But someone said Flash Gordon. What about Flash Gordon? Listen, you dirty. 2000 is the good one, says Toxic Fox. Yeah, for would Serenity count, or is it disqualified because show first? That's a good question. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I
think it would. I would consider it.
I just don't know that it would crack a top 10.
No,
I think most of the cult about that comes from the show as opposed to the film. Like I know people that love the show that didn't even love the film a whole lot. So, but Lebowski for me would be the only thing that I could think of off of my own personal list that I put together that would even crack this list, and it would probably come in at 9 or 10. But other than that, I don't really see anything that would be like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you seeing it. Well, I don't see it at 9. I don't think so. 10 maybe. Yeah. Whoops. There you go. I'll concede that one too. I'm good with that. Was there any other mentions that people are mentioning in the comments that you think we should add here? You mentioned Dread.
That would definitely be an honorable mention for sure.
Yeah, at this point it's an honorable mention, but I think Dread. For me, if I rank these in the movies that I like my preferred movies, Dread would be pretty high on this list.
Me too. Like I said, I mentioned to you in the pre-show. I went with my good buddy, and we were the only ones in the theater. So yeah, crazy.
We're talking about Dread, the
Clueless,
one with Carl Urban, right?
Clueless made 88 million worldwide in 1995. I can't imagine the budget for Clueless was all that high. So I'm not really. I've seen Clueless mentioned quite a few times. The budget of the film was 12 million, and it made 88 million worldwide. If Mad Max doesn't qualify, I don't think Clueless does either.
Mm-hmm.
How is Breakfast Club not a cult classic? Did it bomb? I've seen a
Breakfast
few lists that talk. Someone else mentioned Ferris Bueller's Day Off too. I mean, I don't know if that's a bomb. Is it?
I'm looking it up right now. I don't think so. I feel like that movie was massive when it came out.
Because I'm assuming those movies weren't. Yeah, The Breakfast Club only made $51 million. It only cost $1 million to make. I feel like a lot of the John Hughes films probably didn't make huge money at the box office, but they were all profitable because they were all cheap to make because it was basically a bunch of unknown kids to be cast in these films that only became stars after being in his films, right?
Can I throw another one out there that...
Which one of the Punisher movies will qualify? None. Thank you. Come again.
Unfortunately, none. What about Akira?
Akira's tough, man. Yeah, Akira's tough because a lot of what Akira is based on like the long-running manga and the continued interest in the property. I don't know that it's necessarily from the film per se, but I mean, I would definitely put it down as an honorable mention, 100%.
Yeah, I understand.
I dig Akira. I know how fucking weird it is, but I dig Akira, man. I would definitely.
Weird. It was really weird, but it was so cool the way that story progressed. It was.
Oh, brother. For me, if I got to wave the magic wand and I got to have like a direct link to Denis Villeneuve's head, Akira would be his next film. After doing Dune,
100%,
I would go do a live action Akira because you're about the only guy on the planet that could probably do this and make it look like it should make. So Demolition Man made 160 million off a $57 million budget. Considered, yeah. I was just gonna say. Plus, Demolition Man was great. I love it. By the way, it's one of my like guilty pleasure movies. It's the same with Smokin' Aces. I fucking love Smokin' Aces, man. It's such a guilty pleasure movie for me. Nobody really talks about them. Like they're not really
fun movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't call them cult classics. I love how we're all just throwing out movies now and we're all having to look up box office shit like, oh, how did this do? Oh, how did that do? I think for lists like this, as we've mentioned before, if it's not something that like immediately like someone says it like with Rocky Horror and everybody's like, oh yeah, then that if it becomes like a big debate, like I don't know what movie was mentioned that became a big debate between everybody. Oh yeah, Labyrinth. If it becomes a big debate, then I don't know that there's necessarily. Sorry, Megan, love you. Cornerstone of anime movies. Akira is 100%.
Yeah.
I just feel like you know what you could probably put Akira on there. I don't know. I wouldn't bump Lebowski for it though. That's the problem. It'd be like 11. Yeah, boomer ass anime choice too. Yeah. Do they even like what would be like a more millennial or Gen Z anime film that you would consider to be a cult movie? By the way, yeah, it's because it's it's called cult classics, right? That's why they're boomer movies because they're cult classics. It's hard. It's hard for modern films to be classics because it's right in the name. Classics. You can see it right. Top 10 cult classics. You can see that in that thing. Yeah. Death Becomes Her is a solid choice. It would definitely be an honorable mention for me, but it's a solid choice. What the fuck is Ninja Scroll?
So anyway,
what the fuck is Ninja Scroll?
Spirited Away. Oh, you know what? That's. But again, those are. Well, I mean, it seems like the millennial. Wow, Pokemon first movie. It feels like a lot of the millennial cult classics are anime-based products, but
well, here's the problem with, by the way, the Spirited Away. It became the highest-grossing film in Japanese history with a worldwide total of $400 million. In 2001, by the way. I don't think you get to call that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anything by Studio Ghibli is all going to make money, unfortunately. So. Yeah. Bloodsport's a solid choice, but it's a very boomer. By the way, a boomer dude choice too. Like, there's not a single female on planet Earth. Well, Christina, you're the exception. There's not a single female on planet Earth. I would choose Bloodsport over the Universal Soldier.
Probably. Guys, we were over our time, but guys, make sure you come and check us out at Niagara Falls Comic Con. We're going to be doing our bomb run. We're going to be doing it at 3 p.m. on Saturday. Make sure you come. let everybody know if you know anybody or you're seeing anybody that's cosplaying, let them know to come outside and come and have some fun. We're going to be hanging out. We're going to be taking some pictures. We're going to be silly. If anybody has a Bluetooth speaker, bring it. Let's crank the tunes. Let's see what we can. Jeff, you should bring your speaker set up. Let's get a generator. Let's get a generator.
How? What are you talking about? We're literally like just two idiots banging sticks together. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's like Zoolander up in here, man. Should Zoolander be on our list? I think Zoolander should be on our list.
Well, but maybe.
Yeah.
Jeff, I think this is going to be it for this week. Do you want to maybe recap the lists for the fine folks
No, I don't, because
that
everybody
are
hates it.
listening in?
For the top 10 cult classics, number 1, The Rocky Horror Picture Show. Number 2, Blade Runner. Number 3, we don't talk about number 3. Number 4, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Number 5, The Lost Boys. Number 6, Evil Dead. Number 7 is Clerks. Number 8 is Office Space. Number 9 is Dune, 1984 version. Number 10 is The Big Lebowski. Wayne's World, Alicia, I'm pretty sure that made a bunch of fucking money. So that's not going to be on the list. I feel like there's a critical aspect of this you don't understand. You keep picking films that made a shit ton of money. It's a solid list, this Toxic Fox. Thank you. Someone actually thinks it's a solid list. There's one vote in our favor. Probably the only one we're going to get. Brittany, you're my new favorite human. Well done. Good job.
Data says the Drunken Master. Is this the Jackie Chan Drunken Master?
Legend of Drunken Master? Sure. Yeah, it was good. Is it a top 10 cult classic? No.
Jeff.
Mm.
I'm going to see you in 2 days, bud.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, that's awesome. I love hanging out with you, dude. I love
dude, we're
gonna
actually going to get to hang out. Guys, I don't know what we're going to do on Saturday night, but I mean, I feel like we're going to be in Niagara. We need to,
Well, it's a certain somebody's birthday. Do you know the loudmouth that's been screaming at us throughout this whole podcast, calling us boomers? It's that certain someone's birthday.
Really?
So I believe the plan is to go out Saturday night. I will update you. See, she's still screaming in the chat. She has no. By the way, there's no 5 with her, right? It's all 0 and 10. There's nothing in between. Yes, we are. We're definitely going to be getting together the evening of. So I will pass along plans to you, and we'll make sure we meet up and tip a few. So, but yeah, if you guys are going to be at NFCC, please see us, say hi, get pictures, come out to the bomb run on Saturday. I'm still there all weekend. So if you see me, I'm going to be with that goofball that's been screaming in the chat the whole time on Friday, and I'm going to be with our good friend Robbie on Sunday. So I'll always be with somebody, and I'm going to be with this guy on Saturday. So if you can't find me, find them, and you'll find me. And if you don't want to find me, then that's fine. Everyone have a great time in Niagara or YetiCon or stuck home like my broadcast. Hey, man, we get it, brother. We get it. But we'll see the rest of you at NFCC. And if we don't see you at NFCC,
to see this at YetiCon. No.
We'll see you. Yeah, same. I'm not going to get high. I'm 30 years too old to go to YetiCon, but we'll see you then.
Yeah.
Until then,
everybody. See you next week. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Geek Boutique Podcast. Like always, if you prefer to listen to us, you can find us on all major podcast platforms. Now, make sure you don't forget to click that like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell to make sure you never miss an episode.